There's one habit that will change your life, and it is do not sleep with your phone, because the one decision everybody makes that kills your productivity, kills your focus, tanks your mental health is before you get yourself right, you grab your phone and check in with the world. And that means you gave your most important commodity, your time and your attention, to things that don't matter. Use the 5-second rule. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, get out of bed. Do not lay there like a human pot roast, marinating in fear, staring at the ceiling. Get out of bed. So people who hit the snooze button, based on the research, when you drift back into sleep, it triggers your brain to go into a sleep cycle that typically lasts between 75 and 90 minutes. And when the alarm goes back off,
in 5 minutes,
you're in what they call a state of sleep inertia. It impacts your productivity for 4 hours. Make your bed, because it is a way to keep a small promise to yourself. It's also a way to have a nice place to come back to, like a gift tonight. The third thing I want you to do when you go to the bathroom is I want you to look in the mirror, and I want you to add a high five in the mirror to your morning routine. We did this massive study. 50% of men and women cannot look at themselves in the mirror in the morning. And the rest of us glance at ourselves in the mirror and focus on what we hate. If you physically raise your hand without saying a word, and you raise your hand to the mirror, something crazy happens. A lifetime of positive neurological programming that has been attached to the act of giving a high five to other people gets aimed back at you. The next thing I want you to do is simply take 5 minutes, the remaining 5 minutes that you have, and do some kind of mindset practice. And as the close of the practice, before you look at your phone, I want you to decide what is one thing that matters to me today that I'm going to make progress on. That's it. The high five habit has taught me how to truly be fulfilled and be connected to myself, to support myself. And that's what you need right now. You can't rely on anything outside of you. You cannot rely on the world fixing itself. You have to find your power inside you. When you know that you can have your own back, and when you know that you can literally move the needle on anything through your own attitude and your own effort, you will have a sense of confidence you've never experienced before. I see Bridget asked, does the high five habit serve as a reset for our brains? Yes, it does. In fact, it does something even more profound than a reset for your brain. What it does, Bridget, is, and this is a game changer, and I'm going to explain the science right now. It not only hits the reset button and breaks all of those negative habits that are in your mind, the negative self-talk, the bashing, the judgment, the shame, all of it. It hits the reset button on that. And more importantly, it programs in an entirely new soundtrack as it relates to how you see yourself. And you want to know the coolest part, everybody? You don't have to say a darn thing. Your body and your mind are designed to do this for you. After you wake up, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and you get up, and then I make my bed, you go high five to the heart, you got a calm nervous system. Now I want you to walk into the bathroom. And when you walk into the bathroom and you stand with yourself in front of the mirror, I want you to take a moment, okay? And I want you to just be with yourself. Because I guarantee you right now, you have a habit that is part of your morning routine. And that habit that you have that's part of your morning routine is the opposite of a high five. This is the part of your morning routine, you know, where you're brushing your teeth and you basically check out and you start to bash your appearance, or you ignore yourself, or you think about the day ahead and you automatically think about everything that's about to go wrong or that you haven't done. This is the part of your morning routine that is a habit where your mindset goes negative. And so what I want to do is I want you to create a brand new, deliberate and intentional habit right after you brush your teeth, because you got to clean those teeth of yours, you know? You cannot go out in the world with dragon breath every day. You got to clean the teeth. The second that you put your toothbrush down, now we are going to do the high five habit. And I want you to do it right after you brush your teeth, because science tells us when you stack a new habit with something you already do every day, it makes it much easier for your brain to remember it and for it to become part of your subconscious routine. So as you put the toothbrush down and you stand there, I want you to take a minute and I want you to look at yourself and look past your body. There's a human being in there, a human being that has been waiting for you to wake up and look them in the eyes and start showing up and supporting and cheering and celebrating them. And as you look at yourself, I want you to think about something. Who are you going to be today for that person? How are you going to show up today for the person you see reflected in the mirror? And as you think about your life and what matters to you and what your goals are, what's the game that you're playing? How are we going to inch the ball down the field today? Because remember, I believe that productivity is about making progress in something that matters to you. So what is the game you're playing today that matters to you, and how are we going to inch the ball down the field? And once you've set that intention, which based on recent research, everybody, all you need is just a minute of intentional reflection about how you're going to show up today and who you're going to be. And based on research, it increases your productivity. It changes how you behave, and it increases the impact that you have on those folks around you.
When you catch yourself procrastinating, forgive yourself. Step one. The next time you catch yourself procrastinating, step one is forgive yourself. And there's a really profound reason why. Procrastination is not about laziness. It's not about a lack of discipline. It's not something you do because you're dumb. Procrastination is a coping mechanism. You just have a desire to feel good right now, and you deserve that. You have a desire to lessen the stress in your life, and you deserve to lessen the stress in your life. I get it. And this first step, to forgive yourself, this comes from research from Dr. Peichel. By the way, he has been studying procrastination for 2 decades. I mean, just imagine that. Studying procrastination for 2 decades. That is a dedicated person right there, and we thank you for your service to all of us. His research found that people who forgive themselves are less likely to procrastinate again. In fact, there was a study that he did. I want to turn to the page. I got the book right here. He co-authored a paper about how students who forgave themselves for procrastinating were less likely to procrastinate on their next test. It sounds silly, but part of the problem that psychologists have uncovered is that when you're somebody that procrastinates, you're really hard on yourselves to begin with. In fact, being hard on yourself is one of the major causes of why you're so damn stressed. And so taking a moment and forgiving yourself, and you've got to actually have a talk with yourself where you are sitting there like, oh my God, 2 hours just went by? Wow, I must be really stressed out. I forgive myself for just blowing off 2 hours on social media. And you know what? I can spend the next hour setting my day up tomorrow for success. Or maybe you see all your bills and you realize you haven't opened those suckers in 2 months. Just go, wow, I haven't opened my bills in 2 months? I must be really nervous about this. I forgive myself for not doing that. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to just do the best that I can. I'm going to face this head on. Because the next step that you're going to take, once you forgive yourself, you got to recognize that you're doing it. Why? Because patterns and habits repeat unless you replace them. And so noticing that it's a pattern, catching yourself, forgiving yourself, that is a way we're going to break this pattern.